Thank you very much. Thank you. Good morning. Good morning. Thank you. Thank you very much. Everything we do together. We've been saying it for the last 2 days, and thank you, every one of you. What do you say, folks? Are you ready to stand up and speak out for freedom? Let me hear you. You want to make a difference for the future of your country? All right. You know, it's great to be back here in Charlotte with some of the most active, energized NRA members and gun owners anywhere in the United States of America. With your hard work and support, you've achieved what a lot of other people wish they could do for their other causes that they believe in. You know, our right to keep and bear arms, as we sit here this morning, it's stronger, it's more relevant, it's more widely exercised, and it's growing stronger every year thanks to every one of you and folks just like you all over our great country. From right to carry, to the Castle Doctrine, to firearms preemption and hunters' rights, every aspect of this great American freedom is expanding. So every one of you, as you sit here this morning, ought to be proud of what we've done together, what your Institute for Legislative Action and Chris have done, where we're going, why we're fighting for freedom. But despite all the growth and health of our Second Amendment, I got to tell you, as we sit in this room this morning, there's a sickness in our country. It's corroding the people, their confidence in government, almost like a cancer. It's crippling the checks and balances that keep our country stable and free. It's corrupting the rule of law just like a virus commandeers the function of a cell. It's inflaming our national dialogue. It's strangling the speech that breathes life into liberty. And it's becoming embedded in our system. It's a mutation that could ravage our nation and our freedoms. As we sit here this morning, there's a sickness in our country. And across every race, class, creed, ethnic group, and known demographic, the American people are sick and tired of the lying and the corruption and the abuses of power by the ruling class that are making our country sick, and they've got to stop. Wherever you look, from Washington, D.C. to state houses in New York, all the way to California, in city halls and courtrooms across this country, the people that we entrust to make the laws, to enforce the laws, to preserve our freedoms, and to protect this country are abandoning us and abdicating their sworn and sacred duties. It's closing in on two directions. And let me talk about it right here, right now. From our border to the south, it's closing in, and from cities in every corner of this country. It's caused by two dishonest and deadly abuses of power by those who wield it. Selective enforcement and prosecution of the criminal laws in this country against the bad guys, and selective recognition and protection of the freedoms of the good guys. The political elites, and you know who I'm talking about when I say that, they want to pick and choose which laws they enforce and which laws they ignore, who they prosecute or exempt from the law, whose rights they defend and whose rights they deny. In doing so, they directly endanger you, me, and everyone in our country. And here's how. Right now, In Mexico, several global drug cartels are waging war for control of that trade. You've seen the carnage in the news every night when you turn on your TV set. Torture, beheadings, victims plunge into vats of fuming acid. It's like some insane nightmare of how war would be waged in hell. But that nightmare is moving north, like a knife, directly into our protected underbelly. Mile by mile, these drug cartel killers are bringing murder, kidnapping, torture, terror across our border and leaving a bloody trail of bodies all the way from Texas to California. But instead of securing our borders or enforcing the law to protect us, Washington, D.C.'s political class have as much as declared surrender. Now, they won't admit it, and the media is sure not going to report it. So a few weeks ago, I sent the NRA news crew down to the Mexican border to uncover the truth. And for a frightening look at what lies ahead for our country, I want you this morning to take a look at this video. Please roll it.
The fence is the biggest joke in the world. The traffic through here, unstoppable. The agents, we don't have enough.
Do I think the border is secure? Hell no.
You've got people who are willing to mutilate bodies, poke out people's eyes with ice picks. Do you honestly think they care about an imaginary line?
This was to pacify the American people.
National security should not be a political game, and these jokers make it just that.
As you can see, this border is no barrier between the bloodshed and the chaos in Mexico. And bridges like this one, easy access for the drug cartels to U.S. soil. And the recent murder of a rancher in Arizona is proof. It's no longer a matter of when the violence will spill over. It's a matter of how many more innocent people will become victims.
We've been driving down this border road here for, what, 10 miles? Have you seen a Border Patrol agent yet? The Border Patrol is not on the border.
Borders are? Where's he? Just empty promises.
The federal government's response is pathetic. My best wish would be that maybe they stay one night on my ranch and experience it for themselves. It's dangerous. And we're fighting a war down here.
Ranchers and farmers who have given up on the feds. Their border towns in South Texas overrun by drug dealers and illegal immigrants.
They're starting to test us on this side.
I myself have had 2 or 3 encounters where I feared for my life, where they threatened me, and I was able to get the drop on them with a gun. This is the way we have to live down here.
Dr. Mike Vickers is a rancher and veterinarian, constantly looking over his shoulder. His backyard, a major corridor for the cartels.
I have 7.5 miles of electric fence, but they dig under those fences.
We're directly across what is called the Valley of Juarez. It's also called the Valley of the Beheaded, and that puts it in perspective.
George Brenzovich has also seen what the federal government refuses to see.
Why would they bring change if they can't even admit there's a problem?
So just like so many, George and Debbie set up a sophisticated surveillance system, tracking illegal foot traffic right outside their front door.
We're looking at human smuggling, drugs, terrorists coming across our property.
My wife comes home from the grocery store and a woman's head is in the front yard. Is this America? Or is this Iraq?
These ranchers know they are the front line of defense against the narco-terrorists. Obama may mock them and their guns.
They claim to guns or religion?
Sure. I cling to my guns because a firearm is my #1 tool for safety and for protection because our federal government is not providing it for me.
You don't go to the mailbox without a firearm.
If we don't stay vigilant, they're going to take it over.
I don't intend to leave. I'm going to fight to the end.
Oh, absolutely. We feel threatened and frustrated. The federal government's non-existent. These guys ought to be criminally tried for what they're doing to this nation.
Ladies and gentlemen, last year, the Tucson sector of the U.S. Border Patrol found that 1 out of every 6 illegal border crossers that they caught had already had a criminal record in this country. That's over 40,000 criminals in 1 year in that one sector alone. And we have 8 other sectors along the Mexican border to deal with.